Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. What's good? So there's a lot going on. I told you guys that I was thinking about doing a show on AI, and then I heard my kids talking, and I heard a whole bunch of other people talking, and I was like, you know what? I should probably do it. So here we are to talk about AI. I do have something to say about somebody's question. Somebody asked me about Tom Lee's statement. Tom Lee of Fundstrat, also of, Bitmine Immersion, or whatever the company name is, but really a Fundstrat, said that the U.S. should buy a treasury firm if they truly want to establish a crypto reserve. It doesn't mean they will, just means that he believes that if they're serious about it, that's what they should do. A company like MicroStrategy has over 600,000 Bitcoin, as an example. Now, Michael Saylor's never going to let that go, so you can forget that. And that was ultimately the question: is would Michael Saylor do something like that? And the answer is no. He's not going to sell. He's taken a lot of time. He's done a lot of things to amass that number. He's got plans for it. He's implementing those plans. I don't see him ever doing something like that. But one of these smaller companies, maybe. If you want to establish a Bitcoin reserve or any kind of crypto reserve, you could do it by buying one of those companies, by investing in them, right? You don't necessarily have to buy them, but you can invest in them. You can do all kinds of things. If you really want to see something like Social Security really blow up on the glow up, you could do something like that, just to give you an idea. Then the next question came. What jobs will be affected by AI? And that's really what I wanted to go over today, because I ran into one of my friends, really smart guy. Kids are smart. My son used to play baseball with them. And he was like, yeah, no, man, I know nothing about AI. I know nothing about crypto, none of that stuff. And I was telling him, you should really get involved in that. Really, at least, you don't necessarily have to invest, but you should really become knowledgeable in it, right? And he's a really smart guy, would pick up on this stuff real quick. He's a numbers guy. But he hasn't had time. But it just rang in my head, and I said, you know what? I think I'm supposed to do this show. I think I'm supposed to talk about AI and what its impacts are. So impacts currently, you've got tier 1. Yes, I'm reading my notes. You've got tier 1. Tier 1 is 0 to 6 months, right? As a matter of fact, you know what? I have a chart that I can share with you. Give me a moment, and I'll bring it on over. First, let me make this point. I was listening to something earlier today, and Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, was doing an interview, and he says there's no legal protection when using our platform. Meaning, if you are taken to court and you performed a search, let's say, how to kill your husband, and you're taken to court over that, the government can go get your search history. If you are talking to ChatGPT about whatever, and people are talking to ChatGPT about a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, think about some of the stuff you've been talking to ChatGPT about. Well, the government would be able to, anybody would be able to subpoena those records as well, just like search. There are no protections there, no legal protections there. Now, he says that there should be, but there aren't now. Oh, that'll make you stop and think, right? That will make you stop and think. That'll make you go, oh, wait a minute. I've searched for a lot of stuff. So open it up to that. Just putting a little bit more information out there so that you know. But I know that you guys want to see something else that I've worked on. And I'll probably have to take my picture off because it's covering up a whole bunch of stuff. But we'll see how it works out. So right now in red, we have the immediate 0 to 6 month jobs. And we've got, and these are just examples of what's being affected right now. So 0 to 6 month jobs in red, amber is going to be 6 to 24 months, and green is going to be 2 to 5 years. Mind you, these calculations in terms of, time frame for impact do not take into account whatever kind of growth in the AI space. This is just tools right now that people are implementing and can do damage with right now. By the way, there is a question and answer. If you have a question, you can answer. You can ask it, and I'll try to get to that. All right. I'm just going to stick to the questions. First question, I've dropped it in there just so you guys, get an idea. First question, what job would you like me to evaluate? And I'm looking at all these jobs right now, right? So if you do customer service or call center, you're going to be affected, right? Depending on what level you are, you're going to be affected. If you're level 1, or let's call it, the lowest level, when you walk in the door, level 0, level 1, you're done. You're done. I can give that to a chatbot. I can give it to, even a vocal chatbot, an audio chatbot. Think about that. I could even give it to a video chatbot. This is how far it's come. That's happening right now, right? So you can see, here's the job, here's the time frame. Then you have the standard occupational classification. That's the SOC code that you might hear referring to your job. You can look that up on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS. You also have the estimated salaries for these jobs, okay? You also have what the AI impact is perceived to be. So if you're looking at customer service and call center jobs, chatbots, voice bots replace routine tasks. That's right. They will replace all that low level stuff. So 0, 1, a little bit of level 2. There's going to be a big hit there. There's going to be a big hit there. And look at the salary of those jobs. And some people are saying, oh, well, that's not a lot. When you look at these salaries are on average across the United States. These are average salaries. They're not the highs. They're not the lows. They're average. So they're going to take the extreme lows. They're going to take the extreme highs. Rock on. Okay. Basic content writers. Yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. If you're a content writer, you had better learn how to use AI to help you generate a higher value, of content, right? Meaning instead of just writing cursory things, you can take a deeper dive and do something like that, and that will give you more robust and rich content. That's really what they're looking for. Then you have data entry clerks. Yeah, sorry to say, form filling out, all that good stuff. That's why I said paralegals, anything in the legal profession, anything in the medical profession, they can take a hit. On the administrative side, they can take a hit. And this is just an example of data entry that can take a hit. Okay? And data entry, you're making like 39 grand. Just saying. Invoice processing, all that stuff. All that. Transferring of data from one application to another, via forms and stuff like that. You're going to take a hit. Dead serious. You're going to take a hit. Transcriptionists. Yeah, that's about a $42,000 job. AI handles meeting notes, captions, transcriptions. Now, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this one. This one is really big because if you're a project manager or a scrum master, that's the bulk of your job. That's a lot of your job. So if I take those administrative things away from you and I put it into a chatbot, like there's Zoom has a tool, Teams has a tool, there are standalone tools out there. I know of a company that made their own tool. Why? I don't know. But they made their own tool. Just saying. But you've got tools out there that are able to do certain jobs, and those can and will most likely become painful. Okay? And again, these are jobs where you might be able to pick up the skills and become valuable because you know these skills, right? When I speak with companies, I'm speaking with them about business process, not about AI or automation. I'm speaking with them about business process. AI, automation, robotics, those are all tools. And think of them as seasoning. I'm going to grab a certain amount of those seasonings. I'm going to put them in the pot. And I'm going to stir them up and need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, all that. That's what happens. And then you create solutions. But so many people are focused on AI that they're in a rush to go do it. And it's kind of like, go get some education first. But if these are your jobs, you might want to start thinking about how you can leverage AI to make this job better for yourself, show that you've got more value, you bring more value to the table, so that when those layoffs hit, you're not a part of that package. So you might want to go do that. If you're level 0, level 1 in customer service, for example, you might want to bone up on what a level 2, level 3 has to do. right? You're going to want to step up your game. And learning AI can help you step up your game. Or learning AI might help you step into another role. Just saying, just putting that out there for you to see if it's helpful. Now, you've got template level designers, right? And template level designers, I don't need that person anymore. $50,000 out the window. Basic translation out the window. Meaning I don't need it to go to court. I just need to understand who's saying what. What does this document say? What are the salient points of this document in another language? I can do that. $55,000 job out the window. I don't need that anymore. For something that requires live in-person translation, okay, yeah, you're going to have a job. But that basic paper-based, digital-based translation, yeah, nah. Where I parked my car downtown, they had a new employee and he does not know English. Right? Does not know English. Sorry, sir, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you say it again into my phone? Now, me personally, I don't like having a phone shoved in my face, but I thought it was really cool that this guy would, understood the assignment, understood I'm not familiar with the language. I don't want to mess up because this is the signal that I got. Superseding my opinion that I'm not happy with somebody going, hey, can you do? Yeah, I'm not. But he was so nice. I said it again. It translated. He was like, oh, okay, got you. Because I'm like, my biggest thing, I'm a big dude, right? I'm a big dude. So if you're parking my car, if I even let you park my car, you might have to move the seat because you're a teensy weensy little guy. I tell these people, scoot up on the seat. If you're going to move my seat, look to see if there's a number 1, number 2, and make sure that you put the seat back to the way I want it, right? Don't have me climbing in my car and the seat's all the way up. That's just my pet peeve, right? Because that means I shouldn't tip you. That means you're not worth the money for me to tip you. You didn't do a good job. Just saying. But he was smart enough to say, hey, I need quick translation. Bam. And he got it. And he got a tip because I thought that was nice. I thought it was thoughtful. See how he took AI and stepped up his game? Woof. If you're an investor, you're looking at things like Duolingo and you're kind of like, why do I need Duolingo? I mean, they're enhancing their product with AI and everything, but still, I kind of wonder about that. Anywho, when you move into this section, this yellow section, right? It's the yellow amber section, 6 to 24 months. Some of these are already being affected, actually. Junior financial analysts. Yeah, actually right now, I kind of don't need you. Because me personally, I have a tool. I take all the numbers, I throw it into my bot, and my bot comes back to me with, here's the quick analysis, dude. Da 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 da. I'm done in like 3 seconds. No, that's an exaggeration. I'm done in about 30 seconds. Imagine that. In 30 seconds, I have evaluated a stock, an option, a bond, a treasury, crypto. I've done my evaluation, or it's done the evaluation and has been able to give to me ideas about this particular coin, and I can choose to take a deeper dive or not. That's where AI is. So junior financial analyst handles basic equity crypto reports. Yeah, I don't need you anymore. Now, when you see junior, basic, entry level, that's exactly what some of these jobs are. Entry level positions. The definition of entry level in the workplace is changing, or in some places has changed. And then the big question, well, if there are no entry level opportunities the way there used to be, then how do I get a job without getting the experience? We'll get to that. Ask me that question. Ask me that question in a little bit. I notice nobody's asking questions. There are people viewing, but nobody's got questions. I'm surprised. So, newsroom staff writers. Sports recaps, automated. Weather reports, automated. Anything that is data driven, automated. You can bang it out in 5 seconds. I give it the data, it'll come back, bam. Right? Because basically what I do is I say, okay, you are this role, and your job is to analyze that data, and in that role, give me your analysis. Here's your writing style. Maybe you are strict, you're factual, you are fantastic, in terms of fantastical writing. Just, this is your style of writing. And then it spits back a report or an article. Boom, here you go. Done. Next. And they already do this. I don't really need a reporter to tell me about it. And this has been happening for years already. My girls and my sons used to play baseball, softball and baseball, right? There was an app that the coaches would use to punch in what happened, who did what. And then when you watch the replay on the app, yes, it was canned, but I want you to understand this. They would watch the app, the replay on the app, and it would tell you things like, yeah, and Murkowski got up to the plate and then smashed a deep double into left field. Makes you feel like you were there. Those are canned responses that it's just pulling on based on the situation, based on runner placement, all that good stuff. Oh, that was a floppy grounder to third base. Runner was thrown out at first. Boom. Things like that. Now you have AI, and now those responses don't have to be canned. Think about all of the games that have already been recorded. Think about all the sports commentators that are out there that have already been recorded, and all of the AI out there that has learned from all of that. There's nothing you can come up with that those sportscasters haven't already come up with. Sports writing, weather, done. All done. Finito. Just saying. Now, is that damaging to those jobs? Yes. Is it a loss for us because we no longer have that kind of human kind of thing going on? If you do it right, you won't even know that a computer spit that out. Sad to say. Medical transcriptionists and coders. AI automates medical record processing. That is related to data entry clerks above. But look at that salary, $42,000 for that. $50,000 for HR screening and recruitment assistance. There are companies out there right now that their first level of recruiting, I'm talking about recruiting companies, not even the companies that are looking for people, the recruiting companies. Their first level of contact is the bot finds a job. They tell the bot, hey, here's a job, here's a stack of resumes, match the job to the resumes or match resumes to the job, contact those people, gather this amount of information, let me know their ranking or actually don't only tell me the 3, 4, and 5-star people. Maybe you're worse. Maybe you only want the 4 and 5-star or just the 5-star people. And then the bot sends you an email. The bot sends you a text. The bot even calls you. This is in the field right now. This isn't 6 months away. This is in the field right now. The only reason why I'm saying it's 6 to 24 months is because, well, some companies could afford to have that kind of tech, and other companies still need to employ people. But when you look at that HR screening, yeah, 50 grand gone. Even with those recruiting companies that are overseas, that are making all the phone calls for the people that are here, gone. I don't need that low level anymore. Bye. So then it's going to wind up being, here are your recruiters, and maybe instead of having 10 recruiters, you have 1. Sounds crazy, but look at some of these low numbers. At $50,000 times 10, I'm spending $500,000 a year. Now, all of a sudden, I'm spending only 50 compared to 500. Aha. And pretty soon, that one person is going to wind up going away, too, unless they bump up to another level. See the impact? Everybody asks me, why do you think that jobs are going to take a hit? Why do you think jobs are going to take a hit? I'm showing you right now. I'm showing you right now. You want to know why there's a GMB in the middle of that? Because I did this report. I did the work and put this report together. Can other people do it quite easily? Yes. Yes, of course they can. My issue is somebody's going to take this report and put it out to the world. And I'm like, I want the credit. I did the work. You didn't. Give me the credit. Anywho, you look at technical support specialists, $55,000 a year. AI troubleshoots common issues before you get to a person. Now, this is more specialized than your regular customer service and call center agent, which is making $38,000, right? Do you see how these things start to tie together? Do you start to see the overlap? So for all those people out there that are sleeping on what AI can do for you, and the reason why I'm doing this is because all of this affects our bags. That's why I have salary in there. That's your bag. That's your bag. And there are a lot of people out there that are sleeping, that are about to drop their bags because they refuse to step up their game. How you figure? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Let me switch over to the other list. See if there are any impacts. Oh, go Fatima in the house. I'm sorry. I'm looking at two different lists. I'm looking at the questions and I'm looking at a whole bunch of other stuff. Go Fatima. Thank you for that feedback. And hello and happy Saturday, Paula. So yeah, looking at all of these things, I'm sitting here and I'm kind of like, yo, what are you doing? You're about to drop your bag. And these are big business. Paralegal document reviewers. I no longer need you. That's a $60,000 a year job. Sorts, e-discovery, scans, contracts. Done. I was a consultant at Goldman Sachs, at Becton Dickinson, and literally we had a whole system that did that. We put all their contracts into this computer system, and the computer system made it so that the system would be able to bang out contracts based on certain things that you filled out. That was without AI. Oh, now you're starting to get it, right? Imagine with all that data. Before it was just contracts, just out there, paper contracts. Now they're standardized. Now what can I do with that? See where I'm going? It's far more impactful than you think. Far more impactful. All right, let's get back to it. Then you've got entry-level legal researchers. This is some of the work that paralegals do. Summarizes case law, precedents. Just saying. Paula, that's an unnecessary comment because who cares? You're retired. You don't have to worry about it. Except for one problem. Your world changes. You don't need to worry about these jobs, but whoever you're dealing with had people that are doing those jobs. So whether you're retired or in the workforce, it's going to affect you. So yes, it affects you. Go to the doctor's office. I don't need that young lady sitting there checking me in. What are you going to do? You're going to hand me a bunch of forms? Those forms are all going to be electronic. I don't need you to sit there and review those forms. They will be reviewed. That low level, entry level, work in a doctor's office, greeting people. I don't need that. I'm going to set up a kiosk. You'll punch in whatever it is you need to punch in. It will take everything, throw it into the right files and all that stuff. Boom, off to the races. Of course you can ask questions. That's why we have a Q&A on the other side. In case you don't realize, there is a Q&A section on the other side. You can ask questions there. That's why I'm flipping between the live chat list and the questions. Is a live Q&A. Feel free to ask your questions. They pop up to me. I will see them and then off to the races. So, and if that doesn't work out for you, yeah, just drop them in the live chat and I'll see it there too. So when you see these things, of course it's happening where you live. Of course it is. There's always one person. There's always one company that's ahead of the curve that's doing stuff. And I'm sitting back and I'm telling you, that's why I said, 0 to 6 months, those are things that are already here. If you're a company and you haven't replaced these people yet, you're behind the curve. You're you must be planning on going out of business or selling your business and you don't care. It's the next person's problem. But if you have those jobs, that's a problem. These 6 to 24 month jobs, that's okay. Companies are at the stage where they're trying to figure out, how do we build this? How do we roll it out? What are the controls? All that good stuff. But they're already on it for the companies that can afford it. Now, if you're a company and you think you can't afford it, I want you to pause and say to yourself, well, wait a minute. What happens if I got 10 people doing a job, 3 people doing a job, I get rid of one of them, take that money, start putting it toward this. It's going to be painful. Managers might have to step up a little bit, but at the end of the day, I will have a better system. I will have a smarter system, and whoever works for me will have access to the system, and we'll all step up a little bit to handle more, do more, achieve more goals together. You don't always have to fire people. You can always think about how you might be able to upskill your people. You can always think about how you can upskill your people. That's the first thing I do when I walk into an office. I don't want to hear about technology. I don't want to hear about what you think the answer is, because if you knew what the answer was, you wouldn't have called us. That's what I tell them. And I say it very nicely, but I really do mean it. They just think, oh, AI, automation. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, be quiet. Go over it, because what you think the problem is might only be a symptom. Yeah. Now, I will tell you that customer service intensive jobs, those probably are never going to go away. That's that personal touch that is necessary. But in those situations where customer service is not necessary, I don't know, think any company you get a service from, cable provider, telephone company, electric company. You're calling your plumber to make an appointment. He doesn't need anybody to do that. He's got AI that can handle all that. Put it on his schedule, or her schedule, just saying. Yeah, all that stuff, unnecessary. Going off to the races. So social media managers, basic ones, yeah, let's scroll over. $50,000 a year job, manages content calendars and trend monitoring. Don't need you. You need something that's going to go out and analyze all the popular social media, platforms that your company prefers. Oh, AI can do that like this, tell you sentiment about subjects, and then give you an idea about how to make something go viral by, here's an idea, here's a trending topic, and here's an idea for something you can do to get in on that. Yeah. So don't need you. Because some of these people are not actually being creative. They've been lazy. They're covered in dust. Others are looking at AI and saying, wait a minute. I can do this with AI. I can do more with AI. I can get more robust with my services with AI. I can do all these things with AI and look better than the next person. Oh, yes. Thank you. I will do that. I will step up my game. So for all those people that are stepping up their game, they're not basic. That's why I went through that whole thing, because I wanted to call that out. You're not basic. If you're doing that, you're not basic. You're the one that says, this is how much it'll cost. And other people looking at you, well, can I get a discount? Well, if you want a discount, go talk to that guy down there. And then they take a step back and go, well, damn. I guess that person really does know, their worth. There you go. You want the best, pay for the best. But I just gave you a clear example right here how you need to step up your game. Photo editing, standard work, right? Background removal, resizing. Yeah, I don't need you. I don't need you at all. When I needed a squad of designers, yeah, I'm down to like 1 or 2. I don't need that whole big squad anymore. They have tools now that'll do all the stuff that we used to think was hard. Yo, in a brushstroke, boom, done. Remember that application Photoshop? Everybody wanted to know Photoshop. Everybody wanted a copy of Photoshop. Nobody cares about Photoshop anymore. Canva. I don't need something that's the best. I need something that's good enough. Canva, off to the races. And let me tell you something. Don't even need that. Things like Sora, all these other AI-driven design tools. And Lord help you if you're dealing with somebody like, with somebody like me who's got a company and we're running all this stuff locally. Remember what I opened up with? I said, Sam Altman said you have 0 legal protections when you're using ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, all of those. None. Well, if you're actually running these LLMs locally, running your AI locally, and it's encrypted, you don't even have access to it. It's got to be unencrypted and then shown to you on your screen. Government gets nothing. Just saying. Just saying. But it also protects you legally. And for stuff that's not, how to kill your husband. For normal stuff. You want to protect your data. It's sort of like LinkedIn wants you to verify. Every time you click on something, you get a message that pops up that says verify. I'm not trying to verify because it's not even them. They're taking that information and sending it off to the government. What additional information do they need? Are you serious? They don't need that. They don't need that. Nah. I feel like it's the X-Men and you're just trying to collect stuff on me and you're going to put me in an internment camp or something like that. Yeah, nah, I'm good off that. To verify on LinkedIn, I need to give my information over to Clear, over to the government. That whole AI thing. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. Right? No. Then you've got the 2 to 5 year things. Oof. If you're a mid-level accountant doing taxes and stuff like that, I have to tell you, your job is that close to being done. I don't even think it's 2 to 5 years. I took a very broad stroke when I was doing this. I don't think it's 2 to 5 years. I think it's 1 at best. What does it take to do taxes? I need to go over your numbers, right? Compare your numbers to the tax code. And there are applications that do this already. Just not as good as when you overlay AI on that. And AI has been trained against the United States tax code and it gets updated every year. Oh, wait a minute. Now I can actually say, well, you make this kind of money, you own a business, you own your house, you can do the Augusta rule. Let's make sure that when we're doing these taxes, we account for that. It's finding all of that for you. So that entry level stuff, accounting firms, consulting firms, they're all facing the fact that we're not going to be as big as we once were. We don't need to be. We don't need to be. Companies used to call, the big 4 consulting companies that started out doing accounting, still do it. Don't need to call you as much anymore. Analysis, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can do that with AI. Faster. I can spend $200 a month for the best package on ChatGPT. $200 a month, okay? Instead of $200 an hour for one of these consultants. That's not to say that a very high-level consultant that really knows what they're doing isn't good, doesn't already know how to leverage AI to do all these things, knows that kind of programming that's going to get us the numbers that we need and all that good stuff. They're going to leverage AI, and they're going to step up their game, and they're going to redefine what a top-level consultant is. Think about yours truly. Dead serious. We are redefining what a top-level consultant is now. Because everybody and their mama thinks that, they're an engineer because I can vibe code an application. Good luck with that. You're not vibe coding jack. Whatever you vibe coded looks like jack. It's a simple application. It's not really doing much. You take that deeper dive. I need a real developer to do that. Now, will the real developer show up and understand how to leverage AI to do a better job? Yes. Once AI gets really good at reading and editing Excel sheets, it's a wrap. Already there, bud. Already there. Somebody built one made it look like Excel. It's already online. I forgot the name of the company, and I wouldn't promote them anyway, but still, already there. Already there. I know, it's sad to actually think about it. It's sad to actually even think about it. People aren't thinking about it, and it's like, oh, okay. Wow, no questions. Oh, that's interesting. But it's all right. We'll go back to the live chat. So, looking at these jobs, radiologists and pathologists, guess what? AI can do a better job reading those scans than humans. It can pick up on things that a human cannot. Are you going to get rid of all those people? All of them? No. Most of them? Yeah. If I've got the right system built, I can even get this done faster. You ever go to the hospital and they say, oh, well, it'll be a couple of hours. The X-ray person, the person that needs to read your X-ray isn't in here right now. And the doctor needs to get with them to understand, blah, 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 blah. The doctor will be standing right in front of you and get the results in 5 minutes. Bam. You take the images and it'll already show up on the doctor's freaking phone. Bam, it's already been analyzed. Bam, okay. Want to make sure that, it's actually read right? Okay, you can still give that to somebody else. Okay, cool. But that doctor has a preliminary. Even if you said, I want a human to review all of that, the doctor can say, I have a preliminary. This is what it is. The doctor can make a determination of, what are the chances of this being wrong? That fast. I'm sorry. How much was that? Radiologist, pathologist, yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, pathologist. Sorry. $300,000 salary. What? Mid-level accountants, $70,000. Software QA testers. What? Yeah, unit testing, all that kind of testing. I can give the bulk of that over to AI, and whoop, there it is. So when I sit back and I look at all that, I'm kind of like, yeah, you people have no clue. Not some clue, but no clue. Now, am I going to have AI write code for me? Probably not. Probably not. Will I get suggestions from AI? Yeah, I'll do that. Because the code might be wrong, but the idea of the code might be right. And with a lot of developers, that's all they need is, oh, I see where they're going. I see where it's going with this. That kind of makes sense. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't write this and I wouldn't write that and boom, 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 boom. And let me do this. Next thing you know, I'm there faster. They're there faster. Dead serious. Administrative assistants. You have no idea how valuable administrative assistants are. That $40,000 number right there, that has got to be the lowest number. Admins make way more than that, or can make way more than that, depending on who they're working for and how much money they make. But let's take a look at that. Manager scheduling, email triage. Remember when there used to be secretaries? And then secretaries turned into admins. And then you had executive level admins. That takes away a lot of the work that they do on a daily basis. What I need an admin for if all you're doing is juggling my schedule. I can juggle my own damn schedule. Crazy, right? Absolutely nuts. And people look at me and they kind of go, what are you talking about, Eddie? What's it? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You've got copy editors and proofreaders. Again, you go back here to, where is it? Newsroom staff writers. Transcriptions and coders. Yeah. Copywriters and proofers. There you go. That's already here. That is already here. Think about this. I write a bot that takes sports data to write an article. It needs to be proofread. Makes sense, no? Do I have to give that to a human? I do not have to give that to a human. My daughter is walking out the door and my dog is losing his nuts. Stitch, come. Stitchy. He hates when my daughter walks outside. He can't stand it. Goes absolutely bonkers. Anywho, When you look at these things, basic this, basic that, I've written something, I can have a human review it, I can have AI review it as a pre-check to even having a human read it. Do you know how easy it is for an editor to edit something? Just, they skim it, they see it, oh, boom, just do this, do this, do this, make the changes, out the door. That speeds up the process like nobody's business. When I walk in the door to a business, my team and I, we start to evaluate processes. What do you have to do to get to this end game, this end game, this end game, this end game? And on each step of the process, we want to know how many people are involved, and then we can figure out by those roles that are involved in that stage of the process, how much it costs to do that step, this step, this step, this step. And then we have the whole cost of the process. We know the timing of that process. Takes an hour, involves 5 people. The blended rate for those 5 people is, call it $50. 5 times 50 is $250 an hour to get that process done. Damn. Yeah. And you start realizing, holy moly, there are places where we can save time, which also saves money. Time, money, time, money, time, money. You go from that number down. So $250 for that hour's worth of work. What happens if I could squeeze that down to $100? Holy moly. You sent a question. Let me hop on over. I'm amazed. Why is it not? This is crazy. You sent the question, but I don't actually see the question. You know what? Just put it in the chat. I don't see how this thing is going to work. Let's drop it in the chat for me. Planned obsolescence with humans. And by the way, Go Fatima, I'm sorry that you have to resend your question. Just put it in the chat. I'll read the chats. And I turned it off so that you could just put it here and not even waste time with it. I was just running a test. I wanted to see if it was an easy thing to work with. And clearly it's not. If you entered a question and I couldn't see it. Yay. Ugh. Yeah, it's annoying. It really is annoying when that happens. Okay. So Red Star says planned obsolescence with humans. But it always is. It always is. Pen and paper turned into a typewriter, turned into a word processing unit, turned into a computer. Right? You used to walk everywhere. And then somebody invented the wheel. You figured out how you could put things on top of a wheel and roll on. And you just keep going with that. Just saying. Go for team, and now I'm dying to know what the question is. Come on, hurry up. And she's going to smack me upside the head. So you start to realize, holy moly, there are a lot of jobs out there, well-paying jobs, middle management, operations, aids in workflow optimization. Hell, I need you for. You go to your job and you have different levels at your company. And sometimes you look at the people at this level and you kind of go, why are you here? What do you do? You don't really do anything. You're not helping anybody. You're not solving problems. You're pushing paper. Maybe you're making an introduction, if that. But you're not really doing anything. Why are you here? Gone. Gone. $90,000 out the door. Gone. That's not outsourcing. That's not importing an H-1B visa. That's gone. Let me get to this. How will AI impact the insurance industry? Ooh, adjusters. What can be done? That's 2 questions, young lady. What can be done to add value and become more secure with those positions? So claims adjusters. Are you at this? Are you going? Let's take auto insurance. Are you going to the garages and the mechanic shops and looking at everything and taking photos? Because right now, what are they doing now? They're having the mechanic shops take photos and send them in. That's been going on forever. Training you to do a process. So now you're taking pictures, you're adding it there, and you're moving on. AI can read the images. AI can read the images and be like, yeah, this has a possibility of affecting this part, that part, and this part because of where the damage is. So my son got into an accident. He was rear-ended. Yeah, he's fine. Not fine, but he's fine. And it was just the rear bumper. Can be fixed. That's great. But there was, because of the electronics that are in the car, radar, rear view camera, like all that stuff. And you sit there first, back in the day, it was a bumper, not a big deal. Change the bumper. Yeah, that's not the case these days. It's a different world now. So she slammed into his bumper. The whole bumper had to be redone, and they had to replace the back door because he's got a tailgate. They had to replace the whole thing. So there you go. So it depends on what aspects are there, but it's going to affect the industry huge. What I need you for? AI can read that, say this could be connected to this because da 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 blah blah blah. It can pull up all of the possible affected parts like that. Yeah, so depending on what it is, there could be huge impact in that space. Huge impact. Think about, break down your job's process and say to yourself, can AI do any one of the processes that are involved with my job? And then say to yourself, can I leverage AI to do a better job? Oh. And then, of course, look at, well, what's the next step in the process? Because I want to move away from being affected by AI. So where am I? Right? So I hope that answers your question. What can be done to add value to become more secure with those positions? Learn about AI. Learn how to leverage AI. You can use the free version of ChatGPT. And a lot of these platforms have free versions. If you're more technically inclined, you can actually run it locally to learn more about AI. And you can start to think about, well, how does this affect my job and all that stuff? You can actually ask AI, how would artificial intelligence affect my job? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be funny. How will AI take this one and copy? I hope it doesn't mess up. So AI, going to my own AI setup. You can tell because it says Rebel Reach, that's my company. Just waiting for it to get there. It's weird because it normally moves a heck of a lot faster than this. It's crazy. It's really beginning to tick me off. There it is. How will AI impact insurance industry? Let's call it claims adjuster. Actually, no, I'm going to do it exactly the way you asked it. And we'll use the latest version of ChatGPT, which is that. So all of this is hosted local, except for that GPT Nano, which is where we're taking our local version side by side, along with the ChatGPT version to compare what the responses will be. Let's see. Let's give it a couple of seconds. And I love the fact that AI actually wants to do a good job for you. Sort of. You know what I mean? Greetings, Turtle Bitcoin. Ooh, damn. Let's just read the bottom line. AI will be powerful enabler in insurance, especially for routine tasks, data-rich decision-making, and scalable operations. Adjusters will experience a shift toward higher value activities. See what I just said? Handling complex claims, applying nuanced judgment, negotiating settlements. Meaning, if you're going to negotiate with the local mechanic, given my car insurance example, and delivering empathetic customer service. All supported by AI-driven insights and automation. The most successful organizations will combine strong governance, ethical use of data, and continuous upskilling to maximize the benefits while mitigating risk. If you share your region or specific segment, it can give you more deeper information about that. But look how deep both of them went. Underwriting and risk management, claims processing, adjusters' roles, evolution, not elimination. You see how this was actually able to call that out? This is my local LLM. So yeah, you start to see, well, wait a minute. You can actually see how you're going to be affected. And you can see what kind of a deep dive you can take. So if I'm looking at claims adjustment, where AI is already making an impact. Claims triage and processing, damage assessment, which is what I was just describing to you, remote inspections, which is also what I was describing to you, fraud detection, customer interactions. Now, fraud detection, let's go back to that. You could take your car to a mechanic, and the mechanic says, I'll take care of that. You just leave your car here. They go create a little bit more damage so that it looks like, yeah, they're pros. Some of these places are pros at doing that. Oh yeah, it's no joke. So all that customer interactions, underwriting and pricing support, catastrophe response. There's a lot of stuff where you can get there. Excuse me. You have under this skill field adjusters and versus desk settlement adjusters. You have the differences that are being called out. Wow. I want you to pay attention to something. So my computer was moving a little bit slow, but still, I mean, what was that? 2 minutes? We had to wait 2 minutes to get these two. Now think about this. These are two separate reports. And it thought for 24 seconds. This one thought and said, okay, so the user is asking how AI will impact the insurance industry and adjusters. Let me start by recalling what I know about AI in insurance. And it actually walks you through how it's thinking. Again, we're having this conversation today because we actually want to understand, how is AI going to affect our bags? And this is what we're seeing. So yeah, there's a lot that goes on there that you can see that, hey, there are jobs. You know what? I should switch back to jobs because I wasn't actually done there yet. Look at me being slouchy, right? So you can see how AI we just literally just picked out one job and AI was able to tell me, here's how I would impact that. But it also said, here's how you can upskill. Problem is, it becomes musical chairs, right? Because not everybody needs to be upskilled. So if I have a pool of 100, even if I said only 50% need to be upskilled, I still get rid of the other 50. Imagine. It's like that. And you start to realize, holy moly, there's some stuff going on here. There are opportunities as well as problems. But that's why the light back here is green, because my overall view of this is you have the opportunity to use AI to your personal advantage. Not just these companies going out there and using it to their advantage. You can step up your skills. You can learn more. Haven't you read those articles about how people are using AI to cheat on freaking interviews? Yeah. It's gotten to a point where companies expect it. They kind of almost want to say, well, if you're not cheating, are you really going to do a good job for me? I'm just saying. Go for Fatima, when you say you want the opportunities, what do you mean? What AI is going to do, I think, is help you create opportunities. Start having those conversations. Oh, I've been using AI to learn more about blah, 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 blah. I've been using AI to learn da, 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 da. And then I did some more research and yada, yada, yada. So it wasn't just me getting information from AI. It's me leveraging AI to help me in bettering myself. Employers look at that and kind of go, that's a go-getter. Get that one. Yeah. When I was younger, even now, if I'm in between a contract, if I'm not working on a contract, I'm learning new skills. What do you think? I woke up this morning and I was an expert at AI? No, I've been at it for years. Yeah. A lot of you don't even realize that you were using AI for years. It just wasn't put in your hands the way it's been put in your hands now. But you've been using AI for years. Google search, it's been AI for eons. Remember how when we were younger, when computers first came out, you doing text to speech and we were all cracking up over the computerized voice? That was AI. The term AI was first coined in 1956. I know there are a lot of people out there. There were a lot of people out there whose jaws just dropped. I heard it. Yep. Problems versus opportunities. I want to be on the opportunity side. You are on the opportunity side. You already are. Let me spell it out for you. You asked the question, how can it affect my job? So now you know how your job can be affected, but you also know I have a path to stepping up my game. Opportunities. Ta-da! You know how many people are not asking that question? You know how many people are not asking that question? Holy moly, you gotta be freaking kidding me that you're not asking that question. I'm just saying. Now, how many, and then you look at this and you just go, how many people are just being, and that's why I'm doing this show, is to kind of wake people up, shake the dust off, right? Because so many people are not looking at the workforce, not thinking about how technology can affect their jobs. If you didn't have a computer, right? Remember back in the day, they didn't have computers. Everything was done by hand. But now that you have a computer, you were able to step up your game and learn how to do it. And who did that shake out? Everybody that didn't want to learn about computers. It shook all those people out. And maybe they got back in, but they were shaken out because they didn't learn how to use computers. I don't know if you saw the show the other day, but I said, I was an executive receptionist at Marsh & McLennan. 42nd floor, 43rd floor, and 44th floor. Only a very few of us were allowed to work on those floors. 42nd floor was mine. 43 was Chrissy's. And 44, I can see her face. I totally forgot her name. And I was the first executive receptionist. First male executive receptionist at Marsh & McLennan. And my mother comes along and she was like, I know you're into technology and, got you a laptop. My mom got me a laptop. Ta-da. That was before Windows. That was before, Microsoft Excel. It was when WordPerfect was everything. WordPerfect was everything. And here I was learning everything about computers, stepping up my skills. From receptionist, I went to office manager. And then I decided to start my own company. So technology has a way of reshaping the world. It's just that this is a technology that can reshape the world, and it's coming along so much faster than other technologies in terms of public use. Think about how the internet changed business forever, changed commerce forever. I used to have to get in my car, get on the bus and go walk someplace, drive someplace, take the bus someplace, whatever. I used to have to travel to go to Home Depot. So you made a list before because you didn't want to forget something, right? Now, if you forget something, if you actually went to a store, you just go online and you order it. Didn't have that before. All those companies that said, I'm not doing that, that's craziness, nobody's going to want to give their credit card online, and blah, 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 blah. Holy my God, everybody's my competitor now. They all have websites. I need a website. I need an e-commerce website. Yeah. What was it? The American Bible Society, ABS? I was a project manager on that website way back when. Massive. Compared to websites now, it was nothing. Back then, it was massive. They were spending millions. Yeah, people spend that much on church, and they have millions to spend. Yes. So imagine, right now, you're on the precipice of things completely changing. How things are going to be done. So the reviewing of adjustments, claims, all of that is going to be changed. Step up your skills, become a pro at what you do, look to see what the next level is in what you do, and demonstrate you know how to leverage these new tools to step up. And that goes, again, it's not just your job. I mean, look at all these other jobs. I told you guys before, I am a certified project manager. I'm a PMP. I'm a certified Scrum Master. CSM, certified Scrum Master. Project Management Professional, PMP. Those jobs are all but gone. For those companies that are still hiring those roles, it's because they haven't stepped up their game yet. They're about to. They are about to. The tools out there are already there. Middle management better watch out. Because when project management goes, in those environments where you need project managers, middle management is going to get wiped the hell out. They don't know what they're doing. In a lot of cases, they have no clue. What game are they going to step up? Project managers run the projects. They're not hands-on with that. They don't know. They ask the project managers, hey, what's going on? Now project managers get replaced by these bots that do everything and can create these reports for the various levels. Right? If you're a project manager and you're listening to this, you know what I'm talking about. So you have those decks that you have to do at various levels. AI just did that 5 minutes. The hell I need middle management for? Because you're going to translate to them. Yeah, no, they don't need you anymore. AI will do all of that. Boom, done. AI can review your whole project stack from a previous year and tell you what was good, what was bad, how it's going to affect the coming year, what your budgeting should be, blah, 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 all the way down the line. Yeah. There are going to be immediate impacts to jobs. But you know what project managers have that middle managers don't? A lot of middle managers, rather. Nothing is, extreme, right? No, there is no 0, there is no 100, right? In reality. Anyway, you want to know what they have that others don't? In-depth knowledge about those given topics that they cover. Whether it be manufacturing, aerospace, banking, whatever it is, medical, they have in-depth experience. Understand the terminology, all that. Know the players, have the relationships. So I can give a project manager a raise. Just hear me out. I can give a project manager a little bit of a raise, cut out middle management, and now that project manager can handle more projects simultaneously, helping to elevate the organization and help the organization make more money. What do I need middle management for? And depending on the organization you're with, the layers of middle management. Now I can get reports that just come through and tell me what I could do, what I can't do, and then I can use my industry knowledge to make the right calls and all this good stuff, rejig that, rejig this, put that back into the system. System feeds it and goes, oh, okay, I see what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And then, poof, here are the new projects. Here are the projects that are going to make the most impact. Here are the projects that are going to, even save us more money, have us avoid costs, avoid risks, all that stuff. Increase capabilities. It'll help you make the right calls on things. So you see how, yes, there are problems. There will be immediate job impact, job losses. But there are also opportunities for those that actually understand the business processes behind all of that. Are there opportunities for everybody? No, but that's why you upskill. That's why you switch roles. Now's the time to start thinking about it. Do it before it comes to you. Do it before it comes to you. Start doing that research. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. I'm about to crack all you people up because now you're thinking, we weren't talking about money. We're talking about you earning money. We're talking about you doing your own research on your job, stepping up your skills, knowing your entries and exits, right? Knowing that I need to step up my skills or I'm going to exit. If I step up my skills, I know how to enter into a new role or safety in a new job. Invest deliberately. I always tell you guys, this is your first investment. You are your first investment. So back to Go Fatima. The fact that you were asking those questions, the fact that others were asking questions as well, that's where it is. That's where it is. Now I can take a deeper dive into it all. I could walk you through why I'm running, a local version of AI over here and using a public version of AI over here. It's because I'm evaluating. Just because you have more text on the right-hand side, it doesn't mean that the text on the left-hand side isn't valuable. Just more concise. Now, the truth is that when I come down here, I can actually merge those results into a single result and then work from that. But I like evaluating. Something else that you see. What specific skills or training will adjusters need to effectively collaborate with AI tools? Do you see how I have these set up to actually give me suggestions on what to ask next, how to interact with AI? And I do it on both sides. I do it on both sides. I mean, we've got things right now that will create high-res images for us, that will do all kinds of low-level work for us, and we're able to hand that off to a bot to go do that, frees me up to go do other stuff. I didn't fire anybody. We created bots to take care of simple things. Those simple things were taken care of. And we all get to take that information and step up. Yo, Hutanic in the house. So when I look at these things, there are ways to step up your game. And you're going to have to. I know it's scary. I get it. Don't be scared. Or be scared, but do it anyway, is what my mother used to say. At the end of the day, it'll make you better. I used to be scared to ride a bike. I did it anyway. I was never scared of computers. I was always into tech. I was scared of eating spinach. I did anyway, and now I love spinach. I grow my own spinach. I have a fear of something. I'm going to do it anyway. It doesn't mean I'm brave or anything else like that. It just means it needed to get done. And at the end of the day, I believe that getting it done would be better for me. So I'm asking you to step up your game. Do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately in yourself. Because you don't want to get out here and fumble your bag. That's how you're investing. That's how you're investing monetarily. Don't fumble the bag. Get it right. Everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor. Drop me a like. Tell your friends about this community, because this is the only community out there that's literally sharing information with you, whether the market's up, down, going sideways, to help you do better. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And absolutely, thank you for your trust. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.